without going anywhere, even winter time. So
Yes.
that's very bad.
There are standards and protocol
So I cannot
that
imagine if you
for each
have
one
an
of those, right?
expressway,
Especially
then
noise.
I have to sell my house, move away, sorry. Cannot support it, cannot live anymore. And besides, I'm not talking about noise, I talk about air. I talk about air, I cannot live over there.
Right, there are standards and
it's-
protocol of what to meet for air quality impacts as well. So there is a limits that we have to study up to, and then that determines whether or not there's a significant or less than significant impact.
Okay, and if, because you are saying there is a response, you can comment, right?
Yes, yeah, you can comment and
Yeah,
then we'll put it in writing.
How do you respond to the comments? I mean, how do you consider the individual comments? Because that
It
would
takes
be
us a
individual.
long time to answer, and we actually, once you respond through that website or email, then we have your contact, and we will actually then respond back in writing specifically to every parts of your question. If you need to understand something better, or how you don't understand how noise or air quality analysis works, then we will explain that.
Based on the proposed growth that the Santa Clara Valley is going to see in the next 10 years, 20 years, are we being short-sighted here on a Band-Aid fix? I mean, if we're allowing for, at Santana Row, an office building across the street where the theaters are, we're building up by Cisco, and those people, those commuters will be on 85. I mean, if the light rail costs maybe $1 billion, or whatever that, $500 million, is this such a waste of Band-Aid fix at $170 million? Where globally or visionary, we should be looking at the growth, which is a huge amount in the next 20 years.
So the question was about growth and how we look at future growth and how does it go in our plan. So yes, we look out at least 25 years in what we do when we do these projects. It's forecasted out. We have a traffic model and a forecast model that looks out those 25 years for what's in your city's general plans, and then it builds a demand model off of that. So we do look out that 25-year period. So on every individual project, we look at its benefits all the way out to those 25 years, and we also look at a countywide plan. That's one of our jobs, look at every project in the county for those 25 years and see how the whole system works. And that includes major local roadways, highways, expressways that you might travel on that are county expressways, highways, all the transit projects. And we build that into a model and a plan. This is just one of those projects within that plan.
Is light rail
The light rail has never been in any plan, unfortunately, on 85. What has to happen in these plans is they have to have funding to be in the plan. In other words, some reasonable expected funding where it can't get in the regional transportation plan. So this project brings its own funding. All the other projects that are in that plan have some expectation of funding that we would have. Unfortunately, there's never been a light rail extension on this part of 85 in any of those plans.
Let me say something. So Mr. Risto has been kind to come to talk to us today. But when I talked to him about light rail, he said pretty much the same things he's told you right now. So what you need to do is you need to tell VTA that you want light rail. Don't give it up. Go and tell them. And remember, this is not about relieving congestion for now, for short term. This is about the future. You know, rail is for the future. You don't want to have growth that just swallows you up. You know, what you want is you want a rational solution. Okay, I know it's conflicting, you know, VTA and rationality, but you know, you have to tell them you want a rational solution. Thank you.
My husband's family was in this area when this space 85 was set aside way back in the, I believe it was the early 60s, that this space, and the idea was for mass transit and to be put in and like BART to go around the whole bay. So to me, I think we are the short-sightedness of these express lanes versus mass transit
Thanks for coming. I appreciate that. My name is Trish Cipher. Sherry Ellen and a bunch of us have been working on putting this together. I haven't been to this meeting for too long because I've been over at the Regional Housing Needs Allocation meeting that the city's putting on, because we have 438 multi-family, high-density units that we have to zone for and plan for in our city of Saratoga over the next 7 years. And that's one of the flyers I handed you. The other flyer was about this project, which, as I think you've all understood, is sort of a short-sighted, let's charge you for the privilege of driving on your own freeway. They don't call it a freeway for nothing. So I would urge you to look at the back of the handouts I gave you. It's what you can do. And while it's good to contact VTA and let them know, frankly, you're being subject to something called a participation plan. And so what it means is we get to put you all in the same room and listen to everything you say, and then we ignore you. And so the thing that you have to do, if you're interested in making any impact that has any meaning, you're going to want to contact your state senator and your assemblyman and even your federal people, and you're going to want to ask them a couple of things. You're going to want to ask them to change the criteria for the way funding is given to cities or any transportation agencies, and change that, because right now it all supports sustainable development, and you may not know what that is right now, but in future meetings there'll be more information on that. But Saratoga is being regionalized, and you aren't really in a city anymore. You're part of a big region, and unless we do something about it, we really aren't going to have much control over anything in our city. So I urge you to go to your assembly members. We have a regional coalition now. We're going to start a legal fund for this, and we have everybody from conservatives and Tea Partiers and Democrats, and it's amazing who's in that room talking about these issues, because everyone's upset with Plan Bay Area, which is what this is. This is part of Plan Bay Area. It's map 8 of the regional plan. So I urge you to look into this, learn more about it, and call your city council members, county supervisors, and state legislators, and ask them and make them explain to you what's happening and how you're not going to have any voice in anything if this stuff continues. So thanks for listening.
We thank Mr. Risto for his participation in this meeting. It helps us to kind of see this big picture and to see what we're up against. What I'd like to do is, at this part of this meeting, I'd like to just say a few words. We have sign-in sheets in the back, and we hope to build a coalition of people that are big and strong enough and committed enough that if our city councils fail us in this way and not challenge what they're doing, that we as citizens can go into court and actually challenge what they're doing. We have real contracts. Those are signed in good faith. Yes, we've had a face mask change over an agency, but that was the regional agency, and we were made promises, and we made those promises, and we were a party to those promises made in good faith. Now, as far as the trucks go, this is the one thing that could really hurt us. Trucks pollute way more, approximately 5 times what a passenger car pollutes. And the pollutants they produce are the PM 2.5s, the real hazardous pollutants. And when this freeway was built, the reason that it was paid for by us through our sales tax premium was to avoid the federal law that said any freeway that has used federal money has to allow trucks. Now, CalTrans can say what they want. VTA can say what they want. But if federal money comes in, we have lost it. Can you imagine trying to maneuver on 85 with the same level of trucks that is now on 101? It's just not going to happen, and it's going to be much more noisy. My projections, and I was a planner for the city, or for the city of San Jose for a while, and then I was a planner in the county. And so I'm used to making projections. I know all about that. There's a chart in the back of the room And what you'll see is 3 decibels, which they've admitted to, is doubling the sound. And the chart is on the back, and you see the source of it, and it's on the wall, and I had some to hand out, so some people may have got some, there might be some left. So even 3 decibels is quite a bit. But when I measured the sound before the freeway went in, I was getting readings of 35 to 40 decibels. Then, at times of air inversion, I get 70 or more decibels in that corridor. What that means is that we've got 6 lanes, just divided up, 5 decibels a lane. Now if we have 2 more lanes, you can just expect that it'll be 76, 78 to 80 decibels. And certainly it will be 80 decibels if trucks are in that lane. So we have to stop this. We cannot let it happen. If you sign up with us, we'll put you on an email list, we'll make a Yahoo group, and we'll be aware of what to do and when to do it. If we get enough people, it may not be too expensive to actually go into court if we're sharing the load. But we have to do everything. Now, I'm going to arrange some candidates meetings so that we can actually hear from people and see if they're going to commit to getting this stopped. And so we'll be scheduling some candidates meetings for the various offices that are coming up. This includes city offices and our state offices that are coming up. So I'm doing what I can think of to do. I've sent out messages to a lot of people. If you're not on the next door list, you probably ought to get on that list, because that's a real good way to communicate. But I'm just asking you to stay committed. Is our homes, are the value of our homes, our health, our peace of mind, everything rests on not getting 80 decibels in this corridor. And so I'd like to let Emily Lowe, who's the mayor of Saratoga, speak.
I just want to, thank you, Cheryl. I just want everyone to know that they can email DTA at 85expresslanes@urs.com, which is on the back page. And I'd like to invite everyone to visit our city's website, because our city has posted a response to the IS report. We call it Environmental Assessment Draft. So there could be some useful information that you can use.
Emily, what I don't understand is how can an agency be sponsoring the research, paying for the research for themselves? That's a conflict of interest, is it not?
What I can tell you that we actually pay for our own engineers to do our own research.
But
So
I mean, they keep going back to their numbers.
they have to respond to
They have
our study.
Okay.
So take a look at the website and our response, and then I think you'll find some good information there.
Thank you.
Maybe just,
Oh,
Cheryl,
okay.
since we're out of time, I just want, everybody needs to give Cheryl a round of applause. Especially when somebody who's concerned stands up and starts speaking above the noise, but Highway 85 makes it hard. People start to get together and decide, maybe we should do something, and Cheryl has been one of those strong voices on this issue. So everybody, hats off to you, Cheryl, for pulling this together.
Well, thank everybody for coming. And I really sincerely mean that. And everybody stay with us. Make sure you're on the list so we can actually have a big group to make this, to preserve what we have, and to actually get our freeway covered with the right surface.
Thank you.